165 mass shootings in the United States so far this year. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. A manhunt is underway near Charlotte in North Carolina for a man who reportedly shot a 6-year-old neighbor and her parents after a basketball rolled into his yard. Robert Louis Singletary, 24, could be considered armed and dangerous, Gaston County Police said. He's 6'2" and about 223 pounds with brown eyes and black hair. According to several neighbors, the incident began Tuesday when a basketball rolled into Singletary's yard and he yelled at the kids who went to retrieve it. One of the kids told his father, who then went to Singletary's house and said something to the effect of, "Stop cussing my kid out. If you got a problem, come to me and let's work it out," according to 3 neighbors. Singletary then walked inside his house, came out with a gun, and opened fire at the neighbor, who ran. But he ended up wounding a 6-year-old girl and her parents, who were nearby, the neighbors said. The girl's mother, Ashley Hindlesbrand, said doctors removed bullet fragments from her daughter's cheek and noted that her own elbow was grazed by a bullet as well. She said they had nothing to do with the basketball game. The family was just outside grilling and her daughter was riding her bike. And this week have some really crazy shootings across the U.S. On Saturday night at a Sweet 16 birthday party, gunmen left 4 people dead and at least 32 others hurt, including at least 15 teenagers who suffered gunshot wounds. Also, in another in which young people were shot after making a common blunder, including 2 teen cheerleaders who mistakenly approached someone else's vehicle in a Texas grocery store parking lot. They were shot for just trying to open the wrong car door. Also, a 16-year-old student went to pick up his 2 younger brothers who rang the wrong doorbell in Kansas City, was shot by a homeowner and a 20-year-old who turned into the wrong New York driveway. And I do that all the time when I miss a turn or pass an address. I drive into somebody's driveway to come out back and get back to where I'm going. I guess I won't be doing that anymore. In New York, yeah, things not pretty neither. Every morning the news carries shootings as well. Over in Jamaica, former bank investor advisor Jean Ann Panton's bail application has been denied by Supreme Court Justice Vinette Graham Allen. She has been remanded in custody until June 15. And in her judgment, Justice Graham Allen stated that the information presented by 2 medical professionals and a DCS superintendent did not support Ms. Panton's counsel Sylvester Hemmings' contention that her health deteriorated while she was in jail. Mr. Hemmings contended in his repeated application, which began yesterday, that Miss Panton had a stroke and seizure and that her health needed to be protected. He stated that the evidence reveals that the doctors and the institution went to considerable length to fulfill the majority of Miss Panton's wishes. Miss Panton requested a mattress, pillows, a television set, and a nightlight according to the court. The judge also ordered that a nursing attendant be assigned to Miss Panton for the remainder of her custody. And you can see she live like royalty at jail, and the over 30 people she rob of their money out there as suffer. The major organized crime and corruption agency has arrested 2 more people in connection with a multi-million-dollar fraud at the Institute of Sports. This brings to 5 the number of people taken into custody in relation to the fraud. The 2 additional suspects were arrested yesterday morning following an operation by investigators. Their identities have not yet been made public. Former financial controller Andrew Wright is among those arrested in connection with a $222 million fraud racket which is committed at InSports between 2011 and 2017. A 53-year-old man was charged with possession of prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition in connection with an incident in his community of Minkleton Meadows in Linstead in St. Catherine on Sunday, April 14. Charges Jepta Blair, a driver of Wellington Drive, Minkleton Meadows in the parish. About 4:40 p.m., lawmen were on operation in the area when Blair's premises was searched, and during the search a Toyota belonging to him was also searched, and a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 11 9mm rounds of ammunition was found in a pouch between the front seat of the vehicle. He was subsequently taken into custody. Meanwhile, a man who was out on bail on a gun charge was fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police in Wilton Gardens in Kingston on Tuesday night. He's 19-year-old Nicholas Denton, otherwise called Fireball, of Racecourse Lane, Kingston 14. According to the police, about 11:40, a police team was on patrol in an area known as Egypt in Wilton Gardens when Denton was seen walking towards the group. The police called out to him, but he allegedly responded by pulling a firearm from his waistband and firing in their direction. There was an exchange of gunfire and Denton was shot. The police said a firearm was seized from him. He was pronounced dead at hospital. And of course, like all police shooting in West Kingston, people start to gather. They started to fling bottle and stone the police. The police had to fire warning shots in the air to get rid of them. And this next shooting is as crazy as it gets. Two men were fatally shot during a robbery at Berkshire Hall in Linstead in St. Catherine. The deceased are 60-year-old truck driver Farrell Bedward and 39-year-old laborer Miguel Jarrett, both of Bindloss in Linstead. And it's reported that about 3:45 p.m. yesterday, the men were unloading a delivery truck in the community when armed men approached them. Bedward and Jarrett were robbed of an undetermined sum of money and then shot. The police were alerted and the wounded men were taken to hospital where they were both pronounced dead. And even when the gunmen rob and get all the money the men had, they still turn around and kill them. Under sports, there will be a new rule for the Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISA. A new quota for overseas student athletes will take effect in September. At the last general meeting of principals in January, ISA took the decision to apply the quota rule to foreign nationals coming to attend high schools in Jamaica after the age of 16. Under ISA's revised quota system, each team in an 11-a-side game, such as cricket and football, will be allowed to field only 3 players, which means 3 foreign players. Court games such as basketball and netball will be allowed 2 such students per team, while for track and field events including the Boys and Girls Championship, each school will be permitted to use only 2 foreign student athletes per class. And the latest amendment now generalized the rule to include foreigners as well as local transfers. And as the season winds down in Premier League, on Sunday, Mullines United will take on Tivoli Gardens, Falkland will clash with Arnett Gardens, while Waterhouse and Cavaliers will play at 5:15. Portmore United will meet Humble Lions, and Montego Bay United will play Harborview at 6. On Monday, Dunbeholden will face Jamalco, while Mount Pleasant and Chapelton will play at 8:30. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite community. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.